Welcome to Bayou Time. I'm Jacob DeGate. It's now my pleasure to be joined via Zoom by Captain Brendan Mathern of the Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office. Thank you very much for joining us, Captain.
Hey, thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Okay, I know there's been a couple shootings in the area. One there was a arrest in. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. Well, the second of those shootings occurred on this past Saturday in the Raceland area, specifically right at the intersection of LA1 and St. Louis Street in Raceland, which you can see here on the map. In the afternoon, this incident occurred around 3:45 p.m. Gunshots rang out around this intersection. And through a quick investigation, we learned that it was gunshot between two vehicles. So one, a black SUV, and another, a white sedan. And through quick investigation, we were able to capture the SUV, which is where we had eventually figured out the gunman was actually in that SUV. And his name was Charles Gale, 41 years old, of Raceland. Ultimately, the investigation led to us obtaining a warrant for his arrest for attempted second-degree murder. He's also a convicted felon, so he also had the additional charge of convicted felon in possession of a firearm. So 41-year-old Charles Gale arrested for attempted murder in this shooting incident. We understand that the cause of this shooting, obviously it's all still under investigation, but the initial indications are that there was an ongoing feud between a man, which you understand is a relative of the person that owns that white sedan. So an ongoing feud led to a shooting, and detectives were quickly able to make an arrest in that case.
Okay, and he's currently in jail, and has bail been set in the matter?
Yes, he was arrested on Tuesday. Following his arrest, he was booked into the Lafourche Parish Correctional Complex. Bail is set at $175,000.
Okay, all right. In the second of the shooting, can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, the other shooting occurred the evening prior on Friday night. As most people have learned by now, there were shots fired in the vicinity of Thibodeau High School during a football game against the Hornville High Tigers. Actually, not many people, if anyone, inside the stadium attending the game heard the shots fired, but we happened to have a deputy who was conducting a security check in the parking lot at the time the shots were fired and heard the shots come from off campus. We quickly locked down the campus with the assistance of school administrators. The game was suspended at that point. Teams were sent back to their locker rooms. But because we knew it happened off campus, we wanted to ensure the safety and make sure that no one got onto the campus that may have had a firearm. So we had additional officers. We already had deputies and officers from our sheriff's office. Obviously, we were handling the security detail of the football game at the time, along with the Thibodeau City Marshal's office and officers from the Thibodeau Police Department. We had upwards of about 25 law enforcement officers on site ultimately as this investigation continued. Once we were satisfied that everyone in the stadium is safe and there was no immediate threat, we passed on the information to administrators and to the football coaches, and ultimately they decided to cancel the remainder of that game. And we assisted as the stadium let out at that point, and there was no injury or anything to anyone with regard to the shooting after the matter. There was a medical incident on the field that was completely unrelated to the shooting, so people saw ambulances and thought that someone might have been shot or something, but that was not the case. It was an unrelated medical incident. But at this point, we still haven't even found a crime scene, and it's really being investigated by Thibodeau Police since it occurred in the city off campus. So if anyone has any information, we encourage you to submit a tip anonymously through Crime Stoppers Bayou region. 1-800-743-7433 is the number to call to give information. You can also give information through our Bayou Tips mobile app or at crimestoppersbr.org.
And any information that leads to arrest will ultimately make them eligible for some money as well, and certainly in a case like this where they're looking for any lead possible. We encourage all the people out there, I guess, to call in if you have any information.
Yes, no question. Even if you have information that isn't actually pinpointing who the suspects are, sometimes just little bits of information, or if you saw some suspicious individuals that you can help recognize that were either at the game or leaving the game or in the vicinity of the game, that could all be relevant information as investigators continue looking into this case. Again, we're assisting, but Thibodeau Police is taking lead on this investigation, as we believe that it occurred off of campus somewhere in the local vicinity, which would be the jurisdiction of the city of Thibodeau.
I see. In a case like this, where even the crime scene is still being looked for, any information as to how being close to the sound of the shots or anything like that could be helpful as well.
Yeah, and look, the good news, while it's disappointing that we haven't found the crime scene yet, that's to say that we haven't found bullet casings or anything like that. But we have also not identified a victim, probably because there is no victim in this case. This is more than likely a situation of someone pulling a trigger, hopefully not at a person. Hopefully, in this case, given the circumstances, it was just to put a scare in people. But with that said, there's still some pretty harsh penalties that they could be facing as far when we look at the laws there in this particular case, if in fact that was the case.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Captain, for joining us. We certainly appreciate you giving us an update.
Thank you, sir. Always good to be available to you guys. We appreciate everything you do.
You're welcome. Stay tuned for more right here on HTV.